Good morning, everyone. I'm Teliola, and I'll be taking you through today's webinar. So, we have a couple of questions and financial advisory tips that we're going to be giving. First, I'm going to introduce who I'm going to be interviewing today by name of Mr. Taufik. He's a senior equity analyst with over 14 years of experience on the capital markets, and he works at Lead Capital. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Tenela. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start things off by asking what are your thoughts on the figures given by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics?
Right. It's not a surprise to the market because we've been expecting that as soon as the figure is coming out, there'll be a kind of uptick in the figure. Looking at what we have seen in terms of money supply, the money supply has actually gone up from 55 trillion naira to 64 trillion naira. As at the month of June, money supply recorded 55 trillion naira, and then the subsequent months we also had 63.4 trillion naira. So there's no way we shouldn't expect a higher figure in inflation. So the above 24% we got in inflation, I think it's about almost 1.29% increment from the previous figure of 22.79 to what we currently what was released in the market. So that is expected. So
that is just in one quarter.
It's not a surprise that the figure for inflation in the month of July will also go up. So that is expected. Looking at it, that in the last 15 months, inflation has been on the upward trend, and there are several factors that are also responsible for that. One of such factors is the money supply that is also going on in the economy system.
All right. What other factors do you think facilitated the fall in foreign exchange? Because recently, foreign exchange fell in the black market from around over $1,000 to about 800, 700 range. What do you think facilitated?
Well, I think if you look at what has been traded in that FX market, immediately the new administration came on board, they unified the exchange rates.
Yes.
So which is more of a devaluation or market-determined FX approach.
Yes.
And then it's been trending, it's been up and down, at a point in time it went higher. So the decline we had in the FX market just took place last week when the NNPC secured a $3 billion loan from the Afri-Exim Bank from Cairo. So because it's just like a prepayment, so they got that loan for them to kickstart into the effort, because they also need to do something. It is also the responsibility of the government to ensure that there's stability with the economic system. So they had to go through that route. So the downward trend or a decline we have seen in the FX market was because of the $3 billion loan is secured from the Afri-Exim Bank for them to be able to bridge the gap and increase supply, because it's about supply and demand distortion. So that has also improved our money exchange market. So that is why we've seen stability in the last 1 or 2 weeks now.
Okay. So what do you think those factors? What do you think will happen in the next quarter due to the factors?
Well, of course, what we're going to see in the next quarter will be a kind of consolidation, because we should not expect that exchange rate naira is will continue to appreciate, because as a nation, 95% of our revenue is still coming from the foreign exchange oil, from the crude oil. The 95% of foreign exchange revenue is also coming from the crude oil, and even the 85% of our budgetary allocation is also coming from the crude oil. So one of the things we also need to do is to ensure that our products are very competitive. So we need to start producing as a nation, and then the issue of also importing refined petroleum product also needs to stop. So there's it for us also to do a kind of reforms in all like that sector by ensuring that all our refineries, even with all the private refineries, are fully working to the optimal capacity. That will reduce the pressure on the FX, because even people that are bringing fuel, PMX, to the country, even this, they're also sourcing dollars. These are what is actually putting pressure on FX. So once we can address those challenge, those problems, I think we're going to have a kind of nutrition within the foreign exchange market.
So you'd say the naira is just consolidating. It's not really making a steady progress, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, moving to the equities markets, it has been making significant progress in the inauguration of the president. Would you say it's also making steady progress, or is it just a charade?
No. The trend is still sustaining. The positive trend is still going to continue. Because if you look at starting from the time the new administration came on board, they have been able to pursue some policy direction, like the fixing of exchange rates, and then even removal of the payment subsidy. So there are some sector or segment of the market that are positively benefited from those two policies. The oil and gas, the companies that are also operating in the downstream sector of oil and gas, they are going to benefit because it will increase their turnover and their earnings. The bank as well, the unification of exchange rate, which is more of a devaluation, will also help the banks because it's going to improve their equity. It's going to improve their balance sheet. They're going to have more money. It's like a gains on the foreign exchange by the time they convert such to naira. So investors have also seen some of those movements, those benefits from those policies. That is why we've seen rally around banking stock, oil and gas stock, even other sectors, the manufacturing and a few other ones. And other factors that are also responsible for the positive trend are also performance of the companies, because some companies have released their first quarter. Some companies also have released their half-year result because they have different financial year. It's only the banks that has December 31st as their uniform financial year, where manufacturing, industrial, and other companies, other sectors, they have different financial year. So the positive trend we have seen in the market is also sustaining, and the results, the half-year result we have also seen from some of the companies are also very impressive. So these are the things that are really driving the positive sentiments, and is also improving the positive trend in the market. So the result we have seen so far, we are not disappointed. They have really improved activities in the market, and then we are expecting more. So the positive trend we have seen in the market is still sustaining. But one thing that is very important is that anybody that is also investing, we usually advise people to trade cautions and to buy stock with strong fundamentals, which is one of the things Lead Capital PLC has been preaching to all our value clients over the years.
Okay, that takes me to my next question. Like, what for the average Nigerian that doesn't have a deep understanding of the financial market, how do you advise them to use this information to their advantage?
Well, it's financial markets is a good place to invest because there are different asset classes you are going to also invest. So if you are, that is why from time to time we organize webinar, investors clinic, investors education, we do weekly recommendation. We try as much as possible to push out all this information so that our value clients can see what we are talking about, what we are preaching, because knowledge is very important in investment. If you have investment knowledge and you're investing, you're going to lose some money. But once you have the right advice, the right investment knowledge, there's no way you will not benefit in terms of getting return. So for an average Nigerians or average investors that want to invest in financial markets, you have to listen to our recommendations, and the way you need to ask questions, you ask questions, because there are different segments of financial markets. The insurance is there, the banking is there, and then apart from that, the fixed income instruments are also there, where you can also invest in treasury bills, you can invest in bonds, you can also invest in dollar funds, you can also invest in euro bonds. So there are various instruments that you can also invest in. But the most important thing is getting the right advice and understanding, having the knowledge. Once you can do that, the sky is your limit as far as investment circle is concerned.
Okay, so there are a variety of investment plans that you can invest in at Lead Capital.
Yes.
For those of you that need more information, I advise you go to the company's website, leadcapitalgroupng.com. But there is a new financial instrument that
It's
coming aboard. Yes, Lead Dollar Fund. So I'd like you to explain this instrument to our
Thank
investors.
you. The Lead Dollar Fund is just like a typical collective investment scheme. A collective investment scheme is like a scheme where you allow different investors to put their funds together for them to be able to invest in a particular instrument. For example, if people want to invest in Eurobond, of course, it requires large amount of money. If you want to invest in Eurobond, you're talking of $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. But Lead Capital PLC, under the management of the Lead Asset Management, which is the fund manager, they have been able to package that Lead Dollar Fund, Lead Dollar Fixed Income Fund, because it's a fixed income fund. They have been able to package that scheme, which is like a collective investment in a fund that will give opportunities for any average Lead Capital investor or any other person that wants to invest to be able to also penetrate through the Eurobonds markets, Treasury bills markets. That's I'm talking the US Treasury bills market, another developed countries Treasury bills market, because the Lead Dollar Fund underlying assets is the Eurobonds of good nationals like Angola and some other sub-Saharan bonds, and US Treasury, which is like the money market, because the asset allocation cuts across Eurobonds and the Treasury bonds. Treasuries, Treasury bills instruments of United States or maybe probably other countries like Canada, depending on the choice of the fund manager in the way that it will benefit the fund holders or the unit holders. So if you are investing in a Lead Dollar Fund, it's going to help you to be able to move part of your asset to the dollar, which is more stable. Dollar is one of the most stable currency in the world. So if you are moving part of your investment or asset to the dollar, of course, it's like you're also protecting your assets against currency depreciation. So that's the beauty of it.
Okay, the Lead Dollar Fund also has a 4 to 8% yield.
Yes.
Annually. And remembering when you remember at the beginning of this webinar, he talked about the inflation, which is on an upward trend. So this is a smart way to diversify your investment portfolio and invest in a secure currency, so you don't lose out in the long run, basically. All right. So I would give the stage to Mr. Taufik to give you stock recommendations for the week now.
Thank you very much, Valuket, once again for taking your time to attend this another episode or webinar of Lead Capital PLC. As we used to come on a weekly basis to give you our weekly stock recommendation. Today, our recommendation also cut across various asset classes. The number one of our recommendation, United Capital PLC. We are recommending United Capital PLC for you as a buy recommendation. We are also recommending GTB PLC, Guaranty Trust Bank PLC as another recommendation. We are also recommending Zenith Bank PLC as another recommendation, buy recommendation. We are also recommending Access Bank as another buy recommendation. You'll be looking at it that our recommendation, why is it buy? It's not only buy. Opportunity markets there's several opportunities in the market. You can sell, you can also buy. For the buy recommendation, these are the stocks I've also talked about. And then for the sell recommendation, Stanbic IBTC in our recommendation is overpriced. It's time for you to put the good deals. You can sell Stanbic IBTC. Nestling is also one of the recognized or a valued blue chip company. It's also a buy recommendation. West African Portland Cement, that also operate in the industrial segment of our market, is also one of the known cement company in Nigeria. It's a French-based Nigerian company. It's also a buy recommendation. You can also key into that. Flour Mill PLC. I've been from time to time. I've always been telling you that Flour Mill Nigerian PLC is one of these companies that is also recognized as blue chips. So it's also a buy recommendation because these companies, if you look at some companies that we have seen their result in terms of foreign exchange losses, it has really affected companies that are burning inflation. But Flour Mill PLC in the last 3-4 years, they have been investing heavily in the backward integration for them to be able to cut losses in the foreign exchange fluctuations. It's also a buy recommendation. MTN, the telecom giant. Of course, you and I know MTN is moving. So it's also a buy recommendation at the current market price. Also, their investments as well. There are several businesses, insurance, asset management, portfolio management. It's also a buy recommendation. And then Guinness Nigerian PLC is under consumer goods. It's also a buy recommendation. These are what we want for the week. If you look at this recommendation, they are at various segments of our market: industrial, banking, telecom, and then the consumer, and then and insurance as well. So you have invested in 5 various sectors or various segments of the market. So by doing that, you have also diversified your investment across various asset classes and across various segments of our market. So this is what we have for you today. So we are also waiting for other half-year results of other companies. Some banks, the top big banks, haven't released their results. By the time we get those results, we're able to put them together. We're going to organize another webinar so that we can also take a review of the half-year performance of the banks and some other companies that also have the same uniform financial year with the banks. So we want to thank you for taking your time again to follow us on our YouTube channels. We wish to see more of you in our subsequent episode of Weekly Recommendation. Thank you. Bye-bye. Tenela, thank you very much for proper anchoring of this program. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's all we have for this week. Thank you, Mr. Taufik. All the stock recommendations he gave you guys are nothing less, they have nothing less than 9% gain returns. So we're creating value for you, and we hope you can help us create value too. We would like if you invest in all our financial instruments, LFIF, LBF, Gazelle, Eurobond, and the upcoming LDF. You can go to the company website for more information. Have a lovely week. Bye.